Stephanie Dobson is back with us this week. Stephanie is a lawyer, mediator, and online educator with Hankett Divorce Law and Mediation, offices in Lloydminster and Edmonton. It's time for another episode of Healthy Thriving Family After Divorce. Stephanie, thank you for joining me.
Yeah, thanks for having me again, Stacey.
Well, this week we're delving into step families, and this can get a little bit dicey for a number of reasons. And we want to talk about some tips to basically have a successful relationship when a step family is kind of the focus of things. So you've got 5 tips this week. So
Yep.
let's start with number one, which is take your time.
Yeah, that sounds good. Thanks, Stacey. So it's going to, of course, take a lot of time to build the relationship between the parent and their new partner, who will eventually become a step parent, who may eventually become a step parent, I suppose, to your children. If you feel ready to introduce your children to your new partner, I highly recommend that you go really, really slowly. You'll want to wait until you've been dating for quite some time before even doing an introduction to the children. And in fact, there's many co-parents who even set out a time frame in their separation agreement that says, when we repartner, we agree that we aren't going to introduce the children to a new relationship for, a certain amount of time. So by the time you're ready to introduce the children and, in fact, be step parenting, there's a bond between the parent and their new partner that will already be solid. But to introduce new partners as a step parent is going to take quite some time. So pick up on the kids with their cues, and giving them time to adapt is key.
Okay, and tip number two, Stephanie, is communicate openly in your relationship.
Well, true enough, because integrating a step family is really hard work. It's much more difficult, of course, than the bonding was in the original family. So even before any introductions to the children happen, or before someone becomes a step parent, as a new couple, you'll want to have discussions about parenting and your roles as parenting, and try to get a good sense of each other as parents first, so that because once the introductions happen, then the really hard stuff is going to happen. There could be some resistance from kids. There could be trying to get accustomed to running your household together as co-parents, and even how each of you parents. So if you're truly committed to making your step family work, you want to be able to communicate really openly with your new partner.
Okay, and number three, Stephanie, is support the children.
Well, of course, it's important to support the children both in their relationships and in their transitions. So, first, in their relationships, the children will maintain a bond with their family in both, of course, both mom's house and dad's house. And it's really important to encourage this bond to continue and to be strengthened and nurtured. When the kids talk openly in the one home about the other parent's home, it's really important to be positive and supportive of that relationship of the other parent. And kids need to know that it's okay to talk openly about the other parent. So in their transitions, and what I mean by transitions is exchanges between two homes. And very often that's one of the most difficult time for children. And they experience different routines, different expectations, and it takes time for them to adjust. So I encourage that not only are those routines and households different, but now you've also got a step parent who's in that home. So it's really important to have that extra bit of patience with kids as they transition from home to home.
Okay, and number four, Stephanie, is defer to the biological parent for discipline of the children.
Well, and this tip is going to depend on what stage of your step family relationship that you're in, because right at the very beginning, it's important that that new partner, or what I guess is an existing partner at the time, it's important that they start to be able to deal with the children's behavioral issues over time. But that's going to take quite a bit of time. So it's really important that you not have the step parent do a lot of the discipline right at the beginning.
Okay, and our last tip for today is to make sure to carve out adult time.
Well, the children are going to take time to settle into this new step family relationship. And especially at the start of that new step family relationship, it's going to be important to focus on the children and their adaptation to their new reality. However, despite this, it's important really to remember to focus on your adult relationships as well as spouses, not just your relationship as a parent or a step parent. The statistics show that the divorce rate for second marriages is far higher than that for first marriages. So we need to make sure that we're nurturing that relationship to stick it out for the long haul.
All right, Stephanie. Well, thank you so much for joining us once again this week.
Yeah, thanks, Stacy.